You see. But there's a curse going on in verse 9 with a curse because people have robbed. How can we rob him? Well, I wonder how many people today really set their heart to serve him and spent time and did some things for the Creator today. I wonder how many people have prayed today. I wonder how many people have deposited the word of life into somebody else's life. I wonder how many people have prayed that they would be closer to him. I wonder how many people have spent their time and their money supporting the world rather than the ministry. I'm just saying. You see, Yahweh says, bring all the tithes into the storehouse, there may be meat in mine house. Prove me, saith Yahweh of hosts, if I will not open up the windows of heaven and pour out a blessing, there shall be no room enough to receive it. See, listen to me. He said, lay up for yourself treasures in heaven, where thief can't steal, moth and rust don't corrupt. See, every time, listen to me, every time you witness to somebody, they went some treasure straight to heaven. Ain't no demons, and ain't no devil flying in the midst of first or second heaven, wherever he's living, or on this earth. They can stop that treasure from getting to the storehouse. Every time you witness somebody, there went some treasure. Every time you pray for somebody, there went some treasure straight to the storehouse for you. Every time you donate to a ministry that is legitimate, there went the treasure straight to the storehouse. Every time you study to show yourself approved by reading, there went straight to the storehouse. And see, he must be obligated to open the windows of heaven and bless you. Then not only bless you, I'm not talking about with a big bank account, I'm talking about blessing you with the knowledge and know-how and relationship with him. Let's get this straight. And then the next thing he'll do in verse 11, I will rebuke the devourer for your sakes. Shall not destroy the fruits of your ground, neither shall your vine cast her fruit before the time, and the field saith Yahweh, our Elohim. But see, the problem is with the nation that we're living in called America, if it was not for genetic modified food, if it was not for Monsanto and Cargill, if it was not for irrigation ditches, there wasn't one stinking thing on this earth grow in America. Except for the people that are obeying the Creator and they got a garden. And see, the thing about it is, and I'll put this in a question before I give the answer. See, the thing about it is, what is America called today? America's not called blessed today. Every nation on this earth hates our stinking guts as far as the nation goes. But in verse 12, and all nations shall call you blessed, for you be a delightsome land, saith Yahweh. This is not a delightful land. This is a police state. This is not a land of freedom. Under the Torah, the true law and instructions, this is not a land of freedom. It's a land of slaughter. It's a land of sorcery. It's a witchcraft. It's a land of ecumenical religion. But yet they go around every Sunday stomping their feet and waving their hands as if somehow or another, this is the land of the free and the home of the brave, where Yahweh dwells in every church. Yeshua dwells in the hearts and the minds of the believer. Verse 13. Your words have been stout against me, saith Yahweh. Yet you say, what have we said against you? See, they keep talking back to, and by the way, they keep, in Malachi right here in chapter 3, they keep talking back to him. See, they keep back-mouthing my Creator. They keep back-mouthing my Father. Sort of makes you want to get fleshly and jap-slap them, don't it? You see? What about it? Yahweh says, the words have been stout against me, saith Yahweh. Yet you say, what have we said against you? Verse 14. You have said it's vain to serve Yahweh. What profit is it that we keep the ordinances and that we walked mournfully before Him? And now, called to the proud and the happy. And that the work of wickedness is set up. And the tempting of Yahweh. And they tempt him. Are even delivered. You see, the thing about it is, ladies and gentlemen, pride comes before the fall. A lot of pride in this nation. A lot of pride. Well, I'm proud of my football team. I'm not talking about me, because I don't worship sports. I don't watch it, period. Woo, go Rangers. Yeah, hey, go Grizz. Go Grizz. Hey, yeah, paint my face up like a grizzly bear. Put on my jersey. Go Grizz. You see? Woo, got to pay my $75. Got to pay my $75 and go hear Lady Gaga. Got to pay my $100 and go. Listen, I got to go hear Madonna. Yeah. Woo. Got to pay my $200. I got to pay my $200 and go to this conference and hear this evangelist. He got a word. Sir, I got to buy my bench at that church, my padded pew on the second row, where I'll be on the second row when Yeshua comes back. At least I might not be the first, but I'll be the second one he takes away in the rapture. Got to have my padded pew. Got to have my parking place in the paid parking lot of that church. I'm telling you right now, I'm paying on that pavement where I can park my Cadillac there, because that's where I belong. Same thing going on today. It went on back then. Proud and happy. Yet they're working wickedness. They that feared, verse 16, they that feared Yahweh spake often one to another. And Yahweh hearkened and heard it. And a book of remembrance. And a book of remembrance was written before him for them that feared Yahweh and that thought upon his name. See, ladies and gentlemen, there's a book of remembrance. Things are being written down. Things are being written down. Absolutely. And those that fear him and strive to obey his commandments, those that are under the blood of Yeshua, they will offer a gift back to him that is acceptable and pleasing by striving to be obedient to the Torah. You see, I can't figure out what the problem is with it. I can't figure, as I've read it, I can't figure out the problem with it. Other than, listen to me. I cannot figure out the problem with obeying the commandments. I'm not talking about traditional stuff they did back then. You hear me? I'm not talking about making up a fire pit and sacrificing a goat bull and all that. Listen to me, ladies and gentlemen. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying. I'm talking about simple things that he put down for us to obey. Well, I know I'll just name a few of the reasons, because you see, if there was a love and a striving for the commandments, like Yeshua said, if you love me, you keep my commandments. That's what he said. If there was a striving and a love and a desire for them, well, I'd say about 80% of the women that call themselves believers, they'd probably dress a little bit different. They probably would. There was a desire for the instructions to be followed. There'd probably be a lot of men that would probably dress a little bit different in what they do. If there was a desire, like he said, we better have a desire, then people probably wouldn't spend their days surfing the net on frivolous garbage and creating relationships that amount to nothing. That's male and female. If there was a fear and a desire to really serve him, they probably wouldn't be waving their American flags around on July the 4th and every other day and every time something happens, but they would know beyond a shadow of a doubt that the book has prophesied that this nation is wicked. If there was a desire to remember the instructions and follow them by the power that Yeshua has instilled in us when he saved us and came to live in our heart, they There probably wouldn't be many concerts gone to by the believers. If there was a desire to believe that Yahweh meant business and Yahweh don't change and Yeshua the same yesterday, today, and forever, if there was a real desire, then there would not be a wondering if the microphone would come on Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday because of non-payment or not. If there was a desire. If there was a desire, then every person that has a problem or a sickness or whatever's going on, the people that feared him and wanted to strive to follow him, they'd be in prayer. They'd be in prayer for him. They'd be in prayer for him until things change. If there was a desire, then you would see people and they would give a testimony about returning unto him. You see, and their hearts would be changed because as they read it, they'll be pricked to the heart and they'll see beyond a shadow of a doubt that in order for them to measure up, it's got to not be them, it's got to be the Messiah. You see. If there was a fear for him, and if they really believed that there was a book of remembrance being written about them, in which there is, ladies and gentlemen, there is, then they would probably be second thoughts about the activities that are going on right now as I'm preaching. There'd have probably been a different choice if they really believed this book. There'd have probably been a different choice in their activities. But as you and I well know, that there's a major falling away and apostasy taking place. But listen to verse 17 and 18, please. They shall be mine, saith Yahweh our Elohim, in that day when I make up my jewels, and I will spare them as a man spared his own son that serveth him. Then shall you return and discern between the righteous and the wicked, between him that serveth Yahweh and him that serveth him not. Ladies and gentlemen, through Yeshua, he's turned you into being a shining jewel. He has spared your eternity in hell because you've accepted Yeshua. So, I ask you to use the gift that he put in you, which is discernment, and I ask you to begin to discern between the righteous and the wicked. I'm asking you today, or the book is, in verse 18, because you have the gift of discernment if you're saved. I'm going to ask you to begin to discern between the righteous and the wicked, between those that serve him, Yahweh that is, and those that don't serve him. It matters. You see, there's a lot of people, listen to me, and I myself used to be guilty of this. You know, you go through the Baptist Church of God and you work your way, you keep moving because he loves you and he keeps bringing you and bringing you and bringing you. But there was a time in my life, and I was taught that it doesn't matter, anything goes and you're still okay with the Messiah. But that ain't what that word I just got through preaching to you says, does it? And in fact, it's not what Yeshua says, but it's what man has said. It's what man has been handed down, a basket full of tradition. But you and I are supposed to be able to discern between the wicked and the righteous, between the right and the wrong, between the black and the white, between the good and the evil. And once we discern it, then we got to make the choice: do we involve ourselves with it or do we not? And the beauty of it is, the beauty of the whole situation to me is that if I continue in the faith and I continue preaching and I'll be obedient to what he's told me to do, whatever happens, I'm not guilty of it. That's the beauty of it. See, the beauty of it is whatever you do, if you're doing what you're supposed to do, it don't matter